Chair, we're now live on YouTube, so the meeting can start.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. Good morning and welcome to the licensing committee. It is a sad week because of the passing of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh. I believe the full council will be holding a silence, and it will give the opportunity for all councillors to give their condolences to Her Majesty the Queen. So I'll first of all, on the first item on the agenda is apologies. Beth, can you tell me if there are any apologies other than Councillor, I believe Russell had said she was not available?
Yes, Chair, Councillor Russell and Councillor Hayes both given apologies today.
Thank you very much indeed. No other apologies. Can I ask councillors, are there any declarations of interest? No, I think we can safely go on to that. Could I therefore have your approval to sign the minutes of the meeting held on the 14th of October, 29th of October and 26th of October, and approve that they are correct record for me to sign at a later date? Proposed by Councillor Nutley, seconded, I think Councillor Hocking just beat you to it, Avril. Thank you very much indeed.
Chair, sorry,
Yep.
sorry to interrupt. The minutes of the meetings held on the 6th of January and 11th of March.
Oh, I got the wrong ones, sorry. Oh yes, I have, sorry. Yep, sorry. The dates, could I amend those dates, sorry. Sorry, I've got my wrong dates of that down. Is everybody happy with those dates for the minutes? Yep. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much indeed. That's
sorry, Chair. Who proposed and who seconded?
Proposed by Councillor Nutley, seconded by Councillor Hocking, and I think approved unanimously.
Lovely. Thank you, Chair.
Yep. In attendance today, obviously the committee are the members of the committee, also Beth from Democratic Services and Andrea, who is the licensing manager, who will be in a minute be taking us through a new policy. I think looks like Andrea's disappeared on the screen there. Oh no, she's back again. So could I hand over to you, Andrea, as licensing manager, to present this next item?
Yes, fine. Thank you very much. Good morning. We're here this morning to seek approval to temporarily, excuse me, I can't say the word, deviate from the Hackney Carriage and Private Hire policy that currently requires a driver's assessment certificate prior to the issue of a driver's licence. Due to the pandemic, the Driver and Vehicle Standards Agency, following government guidance, have suspended driving lessons or driving tests, and our driving assessments fall within this criteria. Therefore, we've been unable to process any new drivers as they've been unable to attend the driver's assessment and therefore unable to meet the policy requirement. We were understood that the current suspension was due to be lifted on the 22nd of April, but I've subsequently received an email this week to say that our driving assessment provider will be resuming their driving assessments from the 12th of April, which was Monday just gone. However, there still is like perhaps 12 months backlog of drivers wanting to carry out the assessment. So therefore, until such time as the COVID restrictions are permanently lifted and everything is as back to normal as can be, that new drivers be able to provide a copy of their driving assessment certificate within 4 months of their licence being issued. If the assessment is not completed within this timescale, without a reasonable explanation, for example, the driving assessments are suspended again, or the driver fails the assessment, the licence will be suspended until such time as the assessment has been completed and a copy of the certificate is sent to licensing. Chair, committee are asked to approve this temporary request. Thank you.
Colleagues, have you all read the report? And are there any questions for Andrea about the report? I think it's a pretty straightforward and sensible policy, but if there are any questions, Councillor Hockin?
Yeah, no objection to the request. I'm just wondering if Angela could actually just take us through how we as a council make sure that these people do stick to the fact that we're releasing this a bit, because obviously there's got to be checks and we're obviously responsible. I just want to know that these checks will be done, and how do we make sure or keep an eye on the fact that we are sort of releasing it?
We have a spreadsheet that we have been keeping since the pandemic, because it's an electronic way of checking that every documentation is received prior to the issue of a licence, and these drivers will be marked as not attaining the assessment with a deadline date put in there of when that's required, so we can keep an eye on that. So that spreadsheet is constantly being updated. Thank
you. Councillor Rawlinson.
Thank you, Chair. I do have a problem in that it says in the risk assessment on the report, the paramount objective is to ensure public safety, and we need to see that people are fit and proper to hold the licence. If it's paramount and we've been doing this task and we intend to see that it's done in the future, I would think that our duty to safeguard the public should be upheld, and I would think that would incorporate our safeguarding policy, because there may be vulnerable people or even children that who are included in the general public that may be at risk here. So I'm not sure that for another 4 months or however long it takes to clear the backlog is a reason enough to accept this risk in terms of our duty of care to the public. I don't know how I could defend that if God forbid something did go wrong or whatever. It may not, but that's our job, isn't it? And I think COVID has produced some real hardships and difficulties, but I think people obtaining their license and the difficulties that presents them is not a bigger risk as having people there that we can't be sure are fit and proper. Chair, I would actually propose that we keep the status quo until the backlog's cleared.
Right. I'm just going to ask Andrew, do you want to come back, and then I'm going to have a say on that one?
Yeah.
No, he's perfectly right. We brought this in for a reason, for a purpose, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we've had quite a few drivers that have decided to retire earlier than planned. So we're also being mindful of those companies that are finding difficulty in being able to get drivers back working. So we're also trying to think about the businesses and the people that are trying to get employed within this unforeseen circumstance time of year where they can't work or have lost jobs through other reasons throughout the pandemic. So I can perfectly understand Mr. Rollison's and what's been put into the report.
I think we've got to balance carefully, and I would fall down on the side of helping people get jobs after COVID, and we have people. There are jobs for people. There are people who want to be employed. There are people who want to employ them. There are people who want to use them. People need. Some people rely on taxis for transport. So yes, I agree that it is balancing a risk, but I think it's a short-term risk to deal with an exceptional circumstance with a pandemic. So my personal view is we should go ahead with and adopt the report. But are there any other comments from any other councillors?
Chair, I just want to emphasise that there are a lot of sympathy with the jobs, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cases where we could prioritise getting jobs. I don't think in this case jobs are our paramount objective. And there's a particular reason why people need to be seen to be fit and proper, I guess, if their passengers and public are getting into their taxis. I just don't think the case is made on this particular occasion about the jobs. And I would put a proposal that if anyone want to second it, that we just maintain the status quo and work through it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any other comments from councillors? Councillor Hockin?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. What have we done over the last 12 months? Surely we've had drivers and that either their licenses run out and that need to be renewed and whatever. So what have we done over the last 12 months while the DVLA have not been able to do the testing that is required for them to do? If we've not done anything apart from just log the fact that the licenses run out because they clearly can't get a retest or get a test, then I can't see what the problem is. I do understand what Councillor Rowland has said,
Yeah.
but I think I tend to agree with you that we need to, need to be a little bit sensible about this at the moment.
Thank you, Councillor. Has there any seconder for Councillor Rollinson's proposal or status quo? I'm not seeing anybody seconding your motion, Councillor Rollinson, so I think that means it will fall. And I'm going to propose from the chair that we adopt the report as set out. I don't disagree with Councillor Rollinson, and I'm sure the licensing manager is very aware of the situation. But I think on balance and the need to get society working again and get people into jobs and get things moving again after the pandemic, I think I would come down on supporting the report. So I'm going to propose from the chair that we adopt the report as set out. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Nutley's seconded. Could I ask for all those in favour? That's by a majority, and obviously, Councillor Rollinson, obviously, all opposing, sorry. Thank you very much. Would you like your vote recorded, Councillor Rollinson?
Yes, Chair. Thank you for the offer.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Could that be recorded?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, that's passed.
Is that passed? Okay. Move on to item 5, request for a Hackney carriage vehicle extension for Romeo Oscar 10, Victor Victor Papa. Licensing manager, have you anything to add to your report?
Yes. The vehicle's obviously now 10 years and 9 months old, which is outside of our 10-year policy.
Yeah.
The vehicle passed inspection on the 7th of April and had no advisories. The MOT expires on the 31st of August, and the vehicle was checked by a licensing officer on the 17th of March, and the photos are attached in Appendix C of the report. The applicant or the driver isn't in attendance, but he has sent through a letter, if you're happy for me to read that from him.
Certainly, yep.
He says, "Dear Chair and Councillors, apologies for not being able to present at the hearing, but I am employed in a different work role during the week. I would like to appeal for an extension to my vehicle, Romeo, I don't know the alphabet, I'm sorry, RO10 VVP, a white Vauxhall insignia. The licence is due to expire on the 22nd of April 2021. The vehicle is in excellent mechanical and physical condition inside and out. Due to the current climate and the high cost of replacing this vehicle with one that is under 5 years old, I hope that the committee will look favourably upon my request. I have presented my vehicle to the licensing officer, who confirmed that it was in good physical condition. The vehicle has passed the taxi test and had no advisories. Yours faithfully, Mohammed Hussain."
Would you thank him for writing in? I think that's very helpful to us. I think, are there any questions in the public domain for licensing officer by any of the councillors? I think the report's pretty is pretty good. Beth, can we go in? Are people happy to go into private session for determining this? Yep. Beth, could we go into private session? So we would stop live streaming so that we can decide on this application?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just for any members of the public that are watching on YouTube, just to confirm that we will stop live streaming so that committee can go into private session to decide the application. We won't be coming back to live streaming, but the applicant will be informed later today of the committee's decision, and then a full written decision notice will be given within 5 working days.